Aloha everyone and welcome back to Isle Blessings. Hello, hi. Okay, so this one is going to be another quick one in our romance series. Today we're going to be focusing on romance for you. Does it pass the vibe check or is it going to be in the trash? And I have a feeling that some of these is probably going to be definitely in the trash pile. Spirit has just told me right now. Anyway, so we're just going to get right into it. Pile one is going to be this one right over here with the Divine Circus Oracle. And there is also this, I'm sorry to say that I do not remember this particular stone, but it is definitely focused on the yin and yang. And as where I've gotten it from, we all decided to call it boba or a milk tea stone with brown sugar. And we'll just stay. So one, and then pile two is going to be with the Earth Magic Oracle cards, and it's going to be with this um, wow, I can't even remember. It's going to be the Selenite Satin Spar. I was just so mesmerized by this. I just was completely drawn in. Anyway, then for the third pile right over here, it's the Golden Path Oracle card. And it is going to be with this Peach Moonstone egg. And it's actually right over there. A little bit of flash for that Moonstone. So, I'm going to leave this right over here, and as you can tell, there's a lot of egg shapes here. And I don't know. Besides skulls being my weakness, it's totally egg shape. That's the next thing that I fall for. But anyway, feel free to tap that third eye. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Because some of y'all is gonna be a little bit on the rough side. I can tell you this now. Anyway, I will see you in your readings, and we'll see where this goes. Aloha pile one. If you are here, you have chosen this yin and yang boba brown sugar milk tea. It's actually a palm stone, but I definitely want to say it's an egg shape. We're going to put this right over there. So like I said, we're going to see if this romance that you're possibly thinking of, well, fine, stay like that. Romance that you're possibly thinking of with this person is going to pass the vibe check. So what we're going to be getting is we're going to be looking at you and them. And yes, as you can see, there is a shadow right over here. It's just because I have the overhead lamp on. This is nighttime for me. Oh my. This is nighttime for me, and I needed more light. So that's why you see me shuffling right now. And if you do see me drop these cards, you can definitely see at least the shadow part of it. So we're going to be looking at you and them in this romance. So this is going to be we'll just take those, shall we? So left side's going to be right over here, and right side's going to be right over here. So choose either which one that best jives with you, or that best resonates with you. It could be either left side or right side. The rules is that, well, they're not really rules. It's just whichever one resonates. So we're going to be getting some energy here as clarification for this one and this one, then this one, and this one. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okie dokie. So I feel like we need one more. No, we'll just leave it as is. If Spirit tells me to draw up some more, I will draw up some more. But this is supposed to be quick. So Spirit, if you can just relax, that would be absolutely great. Okay, so the person on the left side is going to be Steampunk Princess. Now, just to let you know, there is mostly more females in this deck than males. But don't take it to heart. The messages will still resonate the same if you are male or female, or whichever one you resonate more with. Don't take this literalness to heart too much. So anyway, steampunk princess. As you can see, she has glasses. She's kind of whimsical. She's not when it's steampunk, it's not usually within rules. They have rules, but in a different kind of structure. I really actually like their fashion a lot. It's not quite mechanical, but there's a lot of cogs. There's a lot of just a lot of unusualness, but there's a very strong power that definitely resonates with the steampunk. There's a lot of industrial. There's a lot of innovation. And there's also a lot of attention to detail, even though it doesn't look like it. That's what this is being resonated right over here. So we have eyes that are actually enhanced by these glasses. So it is quite possible that this person is highly attentive. That's not even a word. Highly attentive to detail, to the things that beyond. There's a lot of formulas going on in her head, whether or not they're actually logical formulas or something at work, getting things done or seeing things in an artistic way or in a sequence. That's what this is resonating right over here. She is seeing things in a sequence, and the single cog in a realm of cogs powering this machine, powering the world. And that's what this one is right over here. So she's looking at every single detail, every possible facet, and that each and every piece is important. That's how detailed that this person is. Also, could be a little bit on the eccentric side. Nothing wrong with that, though. And that glare is going to bother me. Just 1 second. I'm just going to scooch this right over there. Okay. And they are clarified by a man holding a heart. Okay, this person is definitely, and most likely you. If not, this is a general reading, but there is definitely a heavy amount of romance already on this person's mind, and it is possible for a while, because this is not a young man. This is kind of a man who is maybe in their mid-20s, almost closer to their 30s, if not in their 30s. I'm not saying that when you are viewing this that this is your age. I'm just saying that there is definitely more of a maturity with this. Like you just have a certain idea or a certain type, because when we're young, we don't really know what it is that we want, what it is that we're looking for. And there is also a little bit of a flare right over here. Either it is a burning passion or it is a possible scar. We also have another heart right over here, and he is sitting beneath this tree. I am not very good with flower types, but we can definitely at least attest to the fact that this is mostly dominated by reds and a lot of earth and browns. So there's also some leaves down over here as well. So there has definitely been some seasons with this particular person and possibly with this heart. And he is also looking beyond and just looking yummy. I don't know why I said that. I don't like saying that. Positively yummy. So what it means is that it's exuding a lot of confidence in what they know, what it is that they like. They are not clutching to this heart. This heart is big. It means a lot to them, but they're not holding desperately. That's what this is represented right over here. And then they also have hostilities. Okay, this is kind of a throwback to what I mean about this flare right over here. And this flare is still kind of fresh, and I did take notice of this kind of graying heart right over here. So it is quite possible that this person might have come out of a relationship or is currently not on good terms with a certain somebody. I don't think it's friends. It might have something to do with family. Could definitely be coworkers, could definitely be a lot of work, or it could be hostilities. It's definitely hostilities with someone. This is not an inner hostility. This is not something somebody is, at war with themselves. And there's also a lot of distance here in this forest area with a lot of fog. So there seems to be a lot of unknowns currently with this person right now. There is a helmet, and then there's also a horn. This person has definitely been battle hardened, and again, it's throwback to this as well. They have gone through a lot of stages, a lot of heartaches, maybe a lot of heartbreaks, and they might not have been the best stability or at best at heart, which is right over here. So, ooh, hi. Okay, this is Kona, and one second, I'm going to just scooch him off. Come here, baby. Come here, Mr. Kona. Come. There you go. There you go. Thank you. Thank you for gracing pile one with your presence. So yeah, pardon my cat. What was I saying? Ooh, I had some fluffiness. I feel more at ease because this person, I could feel a lot of tension. I could feel a lot of past scars that could possibly get raw sometimes, especially if this person is still in contact with whoever is causing this hostility. So this is quite possible that this is something that kind of comes in and out of their life, or at the back of their mind, but they're definitely focused. They definitely have gotten not really used to it. They've come to terms with it, and they're handling it a lot better. But just so you know that this particular person, it does come up every once in a while, or frequently. Okay, so the person on the right is Voice of an Angel. I'm getting a lot of music already. I'm not, not particularly of the guitar, because this person may not like playing instruments, but they do like a lot of instruments, or they like a lot of instrumental sounds. They could possibly like to sing a lot. Whether or not that they're in tune, that again, this is a total general reading. But if people want to sing, let them sing. If it's not to your liking, then grow up and just go on your way and just turn on your own music if you want to listen to a specific type. But this particular person, they like to sing. They like to sit out in nature. Maybe even birds might be something that they like. It could maybe like a tattoo. They have a lot of significance with feathers or wings, and there's a lot of artistic introversion. I know that's a little weird to say, but what I mean is that they like to be in their head a lot. Maybe they like to read a lot of things online that has something more to do with fantasy, not quite this reality. Things that could possibly be, and sometimes they could even be indulged in it so much that they might lose touch of reality. So this person in this state right now could be in a little bit of a dream state at the moment, but just so you know, this card is looking at this one. Just want to say that right there. So what I mean that they could be a little bit in their heads, or withdrawn from the world because there is anxiety with this particular one. So we have a woman. I'm not saying that this person is a woman, but we have a woman who is heavily doused in their heart, in their pain. Anxiety is not a surface concept. It's not exactly an emotion. Anxiety is a culmination of many emotions. It also comes in several layers. We can see right over here as well that there is a storm outside. There are clouds outside. If there is darkness outside, then you have the walls, you have the windows, you have a little cracked paint over here that has been worn away by time. We also have curtains. And then, of course, we have this woman right over here. So there are several layers to this particular person. This can also represent a sort of prison right now. So they are not exactly in the best position right now. There is a lot of withdrawn into themselves. It doesn't mean that that they can't come in and out of it, because when they do come out of it, they do see this person, but they also withdraw back into themselves. and just set themselves apart from reality. Just take a step back, and there is nothing wrong with that. But I do want to stress this, that there is also a lot of scars with this person. They're not too mature to this point where they know it is what they want. They can handle it, and it's not really a day to day thing. They can just handle it. This person has, it might be fresh, or it could be a massive amount of trauma. That's what this is representing right over here. So we also have adjacent possibilities. Okay, so this is saying right over here to me, is even though it says adjacent possibilities, this seems to be like they're going in and out of a lot of doors. They could be in and out of some windows, a lot of memories. That's what a lot of these doors are representing. So it's a fairly long hallway, and there's plenty of escapism also that I can see right over here, which also pulls back to the anxiety. And right over here, music can help actually soothe a lot of this right over here, which why it means a lot to them. And which is why I say grow up and let them sing, or let them be, because this person is not combative. But for me in particular, just for me, is that people need to back off this particular person. Like, I feel like that these doors can also be a lot of eyes on this person in this hallway, and a lot of judging. So whoever is doing this needs to back off this particular person. They may not help it, or they may not be able to help it, which is why a lot of doors also means a lot of opportunities for this particular person, or for the actual true people to come in and to shut those doors, or to help secure this environment, or let in fresh air. That's what this is saying right over here. And whew, there's a lot of similarities right over here, but I'm feeling like there's quite a bit of caution for this particular connection. But we're going to see what else is going to be in this reading, because this is just a preliminary. So what we're going to be looking at is, what do you think about this, and what do they think about this connection? If they are, or if you are, or both of you are thinking about getting together, or just overall, does it pass? Do you pass each other's checks? And again, excuse me as I as I very, very slowly try and shuffle this really big but beautiful deck as best as I possibly can. I still have not been able to find a good way to shuffle this, and my hands are sore. They've been sore for a while. So I work at a feed store, and we do carry around big 40, 45, 50, sometimes 52-pound bags, a lot, a massive amount, and we also load it into people's cars. So my hands have been getting strained a lot. Okay, but enough about me. Let's get back. Let's focus on this this reading. So okay. Okay, this one. Okay, so we're going to be looking at what this person on the left thinks about this vibe. So we have Sage of Flames. I don't want to mix that up. One moment. Okay, sorry. We have Sage of Flames. So the Sage of Flames, and I finally have my handy dandy notebook in hand, so I don't look like a complete freaking idiot. Anyway, the Sage of Flames is the Queen of Wands in the traditional tarot. So the Sage is, so this is pretty much the ultimate. When you are a queen, that's pretty much the ultimate queen authority or female authority, which I'd like to say no. I think queens can be kings, and I think kings can also be queens. But anyway, so this is one of the more higher positions. This is what it's saying. So there's a lot of power, a lot in this card, and whoops. I dropped some cards. Anyway, let's move on. So there's a lot of teaching that I feel coming radiating from this particular card. So they're viewing this person on the left is not only viewing this as a teaching moment, but they're also viewing this in a see with these many hands, these many abilities, and also this guiding flame or this oneness with the universe or spirits. They also see a lot of guidance for this particular person. Like they will help guide this person. Remember how I said that there's a lot of doors here. There's a lot of open memories. There's a lot of judgment that is laid on to this person, and sometimes unfairly. So the Sage of Flames definitely for this particular person heavily applies to this particular situation. But again, this is the Sage of Flames. This is the Queen of Wands. They know well enough to be there to help, to show them the way, but they are not oppressive. When you are a queen or a king of a country, you know how to rule the country. Or at least you should know how to rule the country. You know it's best not to be a tyrant because everybody on different levels serve a specific purpose. So you give them the tools, you give them the incentives, give them direction, but you leave them to their own devices to figure it out in order to help the kingdom thrive. But you also oversee, and you can also either one, deal out punishments or to correct the behaviors, or to be a good leader. That's what this card is being represented right over here for this particular person. Now I have dropped a card. And oh, come on, Spirit, really? This one? Okay, Spirit. So these cards that I pulled were at first in the other direction, but for some reason, Spirit just has its purpose. But anyway, and just turned it around. So we also have the Nine of Chalices right over here. So Nine of Chalices is of course the Nine of Cups. We have a man who is sitting in this temple, and the divine or the universe or spirits or this guidance, this is shining down on these full and many goblets, these many chalices, and I definitely want to stress seeing that this is in a setting of a temple, and because there's a lot of maturity here. Again, there's a lot of maturity, there's a lot of knowledge, there's just a lot of teachings, a lot of history, a lot of just a heavy, heavy weight, but it also lets in a lot of light. And then we also have chalices. So we have wisdom as well filling these chalices. And with the chalices also comes with, again, emotions for the cups as well as love, but it's a whole lot of wealth. It's a lot of water, but it's not an overwhelming power of water. It's not the Ten of Chalices. Ten of Chalices can sometimes be way too much, an overindulgence. The Nine of Chalices is nearly there. It's almost at the goal of 10. It is missing still that one more Ace of Cups. But for right now, we have a man who is here, smiling, who is content at the journey that he has had so far, and he is currently just admiring, at rest, but still thinking, still able to tell a story, but still waiting for that next chapter. So we definitely have this particular person seeing the possibilities in this possible check. We also have Five of Orbs. So again, it's kind of a throwback to this hostility card right over here. So it is quite possible that this external factors for this particular person is whispering highly unsavory things, or is highly sus. So we have this creepy man just standing there, and there's a lot of fog around here. There's a lot of unknowns, and he's juggling these orbs. Five of Orbs, by the way, is Five of Swords, so that also symbolizes conflict, uh, and just a lot of, I want to say sticky. I don't know why. There's just a lot of stickiness for here, and I don't know. It's just there's a weird sensation that and word that just came up. But Spirit says there's a lot of stickiness, maybe sticky hands, or maybe sticky situations. And again, with the hostility cards over here, it kind of shows that there's a slight pushback. In possibly following through, or just thoughts about this whole situation. We also have Nine of Orbs. Okay, so Nine of Orbs again, Nine of Swords. It is also in reverse. This is not the final nail in the coffin. This is not the end of a chapter. There's a lot of wounds, a lot of scars, a lot of isolation, but this definitely feels like a little bit more of the past, and that life sometimes also throws you a curveball and likes to smack you in the face. That's what this is saying right over here. So it seems like for this particular person on the left side that they see the possibilities, but for the current right now, as how it is going, it's probably not yet the right time. There's a lot of things going on with this person. Not a whole lot. It's just, it's not that they don't have time for it. It's just that there is other priorities, other obligations. I mean, it could be just the holidays, or a birthday, or an event, or maybe family stuff that come up. It's just right now. It's just not quite a good time. So let's look at the person on the right side, if I can shuffle this and not get a crimp. This one, this one, and this one. Okay. Okay, so we have, for the person on the right, Seven of Chalices. So Seven of Chalices again, Seven of Cups, but since it is on the reverse. Normally on its right side up, it's almost on the positive side. I want to say that for the Seven of Cups facing up, it's not nearly as positive as some people like to think. I think for the Seven of Chalices or the Seven of Cups, it looks like options. It looks like possibilities. If you heard that, that is just Kona again, stalking after one of the outside cats who is meowing at the window. But anyway, Seven of Chalices can also represent identities, assuming an identity. So as you can see with there are several images in here. We have, what is that? I think we have birds. Yeah, I think we have birds up here. We have books. We have a crown. We have a castle. We have what looks like the image of the Two of Cups here. I don't know what that is. That looks like dishes. I don't know why. And then we also have a snake back here, and we also have a winding staircase. So this could represent the journey of the Ace of Cups all the way up, upwards to the Seven right now. But at least for me, it seems more like seven different or multiple identities. In the reverse position, that one is definitely amplified here. And there's the other cat. Okay, this is Levi, and you guys are making this into a lot longer reading. Okay, this is what happens when you keep the door open. But if I don't keep the door open, I'm going to die because it is a little warm. Anyway, so we have seven identities, or just seven options, or just this person is not quite sure of themselves. That's basically what this is saying right over here. I'm just going to actually overlap it a bit. Okay, and then we also have the Four of Orbs, introversion, withdrawing, meditating, and like I said, music is again still heavily playing in my head. A lot of water and just being off on their own a lot. The Four of Orbs, the Four of Swords, so they could be in their minds quite a bit, trying to look at things in a logical perspective and just being in a bit of a meditative state. Everything is crooked. Everything is crooked. We also have Indigo. So this is actually a really positive card, and I was about to, I thought I was going to have a little bit of a heart attack, or at least some sort of heart palpitations, because there's a lot of heaviness going on right over here. So we have Indigo here, which is it's not the Fool. It is the Magician card. It is the possibilities. They have many resources on hand. They have, for this particular one, we have a child who is holding this really big faceted rainbow diamond, and we have a nebula just radiating out. But we also have very knowing eyes of an adult, which looks a little weird every single time I look at this card. But they do have a bit of innocence, like of a child. They do have the tools that they need. They do have the tools that they need. They're not really lacking of wants, or at least things in the material plane. Hi, Mr. Kona. He just walked across me. Anyway, but we have everything of the Magician, so they do have the possibilities of the four elements as their resources. And I am missing a card. Anyway, I'll just pick another one, I guess. We also have the Six of Crystals. So this is, I'm glad that this is here, because I was kind of afraid that there was no earthly stability or foundation with this particular person on the right side. The Six of Crystals is the Six of Pentacles. So we have, it feels like some Libra energy right over here, but more so of the scale. So they're weighing the possibilities. They're conscious of the physical world. They're conscious about finances. They're conscious about their jobs. They're conscious about their house. You know, all those things, those materialistic things. And they're also conscious about the person on the left. They are definitely conscious about this. And, you know, we have hands reaching out right over here, and the woman who is extending a flower. I know it's a little tough to see. It's extending a flower. So we have a marriage of wanting that affection, but in a more supportive, stable environment with the power of the crystals or the pentacles, which is really, really good. They do have a good head on their shoulders. They're not too wrapped up in what it is they're going through at the moment, most of the time. I want to stress that. Most of the time, because we do have the power of these two cards right over here. So it seems like that there is definitely, while this person at the beginning is looking at the possibilities, you know, this is their first initial thought about the vibes for this particular person, but in the details, they're still focusing a little bit on themselves, or at least the external factors of their life. And this particular person, in the first few layers, they're definitely looking more at themselves, but deeper towards their heart. They're definitely thinking about this person, and then the possibilities and the vibes that they get from this person. Excuse me, up here. I feel like I'm out of breath, but that's just because these cats, I swear. If you have pets, you know what I'm talking about. So we're going to be looking at the current phase of this particular whatever this is going on. I don't want to call it a thing. It's kind of an ambiguous shape. If it has a shape, thing, noun. We'll just stick with the noun. This particular noun. This one and this one. Okay, so we have Luck is on your side. New moon in Sagittarius. Okay, so we have some fire energy going on. New moons I really like because new moons, even though the moon is quote unquote dark, it is the seed. It is the first step. It is thinking about the possibilities. Like, say you're looking at your yard and you're wondering what, or your garden even, or a blank canvas or blank piece of paper if you're more into writing, what could it possibly be? And with luck is on your side and the Sagittarius, so there's definitely a lot of passion. And Sagittarius, further on down in the fire signs, more hardened, um, has weapons, but they know how to use it. Uh, but yeah, they're very burning with a lot of passion, a lot of light, a lot of I wouldn't say stability, because what Sagittarius is stable without fun? Let's just be real about that. I mean, I'm a rising Sagittarius, and there are some times where I just do some crazy things and do not get in my way. So with this luck on the side too, there's a lot of, again, it's pointing to a lot of possibilities. As we have this arrow pointing right over here, we have Sagittarius's bow pointing at the new moon. It could be pointing this way, it's normal. It's normal orientation, and the moon could be up there. But instead, for this particular orientation, it is pointing at the moon. So there is a lot of uh, like I said, this is not really passing a whole lot of the vibe check in getting into it now, but luck is still within this particular re- uh, thing ship, um, situation ship, something like that. There's still definitely a lot of good things going for this. That's what I'm trying to say. We also have a fiery climax approaches, and this is a full moon in Aries. Okay, uh, let's all take a breath. Whew. Now this one has definitely kind of taken my breath away. So a fiery climax approaches in Aries. Again, Aries is represented by the ram, and that ram is running. Not full on running, but it is definitely running. And full moon is nothing to mess with. So we have a massive amount of power behind the ram, and the ram will not stop for anything. This definitely feels like it's going downhill on the slope, especially with luck propelling behind it. So you best believe that something is coming with this situationship, this nounship, or yeah, I'm just making up a bunch of words. I'm just making up a bunch of words, and that's what I do. I just make up a bunch of BS. So we're gonna be looking at near future phase. So we're just near future. So near future could be within like a month. I won't say a few weeks. This definitely doesn't sound like a few weeks. Usually near futures can range between a month up to 2 years at best. But again, things can change. But for right now, we're going to see what is in the near future. Okay, we have an expect powerful change, and it is new moon eclipse. Woo! Which is kind of funny, since it's going to be going right under luck is on your side, new moon and Sagittarius, and we have a new moon eclipse. And honestly, I am not going to say a whole lot about this because if 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 whew, I can barely breathe. I can almost feel my asthma working up. So let's just say that's what this feeling is about in the near future, and especially with a fiery climax approaches, this is definitely straight on its freaking heels for that one, for that right over there. And then right afterwards, take time to breathe out, disseminating moon. So it's kind of like a solar eclipse event. That's what this is right over here. And when the solar, and there's a lot of excitement, there's a lot of buzz going on, the energy is high, there's a lot of people just generally excited. It's like the whole world is almost just buzzing with electricity. And then after it starts to phase on out, everybody's tired. Everybody just wants to relax, or everybody just passes the frick out. That's what this is right over here. So we have a massive amount of momentum that is going to be happening with this situation. Noun ship thing ish ship. Not gonna lie, this definitely does not feel like an organic thing, quote unquote. So organic just means that it can, things can change. You know, life can happen, life changes. This is, but this, for whatever reason, I'm getting messages from the spirit that this is not organic. This is things that this is going to happen regardless of what the situation is. So if you two are not ready, this is still going to happen. But if you are ready, it's still going to happen. And that's just how it's going to work out. So we're going to be looking at what is there to be cautious about. But dear God, please let it be some kind cards, because I still need to breathe. Whew. And how appropriate for this particular one over here. We have a lot of duality. I mean, there's just a lot of dual intense energies. It's like zero chill with this pile right now. So this one and this one. Okay, we'll get three. That's fine. We have bliss, contentment, satisfaction, and security. So when you two, if you two get together, or if you two kind of stay a hand span 6 feet, 10 feet, just in general vicinity of each other, there is still going to be bliss, contentment, satisfaction, and security. So again, it throws back to support, and that this is something that this person needs, kind of like an equal exchange. Teaching, this person gets to teach, this person gets the stability and the security. But with bliss, sometimes comes, overindulgence and stagnant energy. So do be cautious about that. We also have cunning woman, silent, observant, and willy. So this is a good card to have, especially when it comes to caution. This card is definitely more on the logical side, a good head on their shoulders, and this showing up for the two of you right now, it seems like both of you have a pretty good grasp and might be able to not be lost in this bliss. But there is also a tale of silence that can happen, and a lot of observing of each other, maybe not always being suspect of one another, but thinking like, why is this person doing that? That's what that is saying right over here. Whew. We also have Soulkin, recognition, family, and kingship, which is really good, considering that the person on the right side really, really needs this. And this is not, I don't feel like this has anything to be cautious about. Normally, when I do these cautions, this is saying a little bit of a danger when it, not danger per se, just be cautious about family or friends, but it feels like that this particular card is in support of everything. For this person on the left and this person on the right. So, I'm so glad it was really good supporting cards and didn't have to throw me for a loop. So, we're going to be looking at what does Spirit have to say. And I know I was trying to have these readings as short as possible, but Spirit's like, excuse you, we are not going to be doing simple for this particular pile. We are going at it, and we're going to ram it home. Okay. We have love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. This is definitely a reflection of everything that we have read so far with these cards. Person on the left, they have things that they have to sort out on the daily. It's not something that they have to do. It's just something that they do, but they're not at all bothered by it. And it just seems like, I don't think it's karma, but it's something that works like karma. It's just something that you do, and you don't you don't get caught up in it too much. For this particular person right over here, they're already doing it. They're withdrawing into themselves, and they're reevaluating, or they're doing some therapy or even self therapy in their own mind. So definitely, Spirit is saying love yourself first, and it seems like you two are on the right track. Heart to heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Not much to say about this card. It's just a reinforcement of what we have discussed thus far, and also a reinforcement on love yourself first. Because you honestly cannot have a good heart to heart conversation, like real heart to heart conversation, if you don't if you're not comfortable with yourself, if you don't love yourself first, if you don't stabilize yourself first. Is Everything is just going to look insincere if this doesn't happen. So having a heart to heart conversation would just be completely nullified if you know things don't happen right over here. We also have make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you are guided to take. So, not gonna lie, um, this particular relationship, like I said, and me trying to catch my breath a lot, and my asthma is still acting up. I wish I had some water. With the moon phases right over here, there's going to be a lot of work. There's definitely, I mean, as you can see right over here, it's going to take a lot of not hardship per se. It's just going to take some time. Like a garden, you gotta till that soil. You gotta maybe pull in some topsoil from somewhere else, or sit the gravel, uproot, maybe burn away some stuff. That sort of thing. Um, or if or like say you're trying to make a painting or a project, if you want it to be good, you're gonna have to splatter on some shit first. Excuse my language. You're gonna have to make shit first before you can start cleaning things up and refining it. That's what this is going to be right over here. I'm not saying this whole noun ship is going to be shit. I'm just saying that there's just going to be a lot of back and forth going on with this heart-to-heart conversation, loving yourself first, and of course all these other cards underneath here that I'm not going to touch, because it's just going to drive myself crazy trying to straighten everything again. So there's just going to be a lot of things that will happen, but it doesn't seem like that. It's not like a make or break situation. This is or ride or die. It's not any of that. So we're going to be looking at what does the universe say about this. This one, and this one. Okay, so we have destruction. Okay, really reinforce the other moon cards, especially down there. So destruction does not obviously mean death. It could be or the end. But this is definitely not saying toss this whole situation. This is definitely a destruction or the end of a chapter, or just something that's very abrupt. It's definitely a tower moment. So this just seems like it's not really something that's been in the making. But there is definitely, for the two of you, there's quite a few chapters that's going to slam shut, or there's quite a few chapters that is going to break open. So this can be either be shut, open, or just scrambles everything. Again, I remind you about the lunar eclipse the solar eclipse over their card, and that full moon in Aries. So that it's very sudden and it's going to come. We also have take risk, and we also have this goat right here up on top of that mountain. More Aries Ram energy. We also have a mountain, and definitely climbing the mountain with this noun ship, with this thing ship, and such and so forth. But this definitely means luck is on your side. This is definitely saying that there's a lot of favorability with the universe right here and now, and also in the future. I have a phone call. I am busy right now. Shush. So we have ask body as well. So the universe is basically saying to ask what your body needs. Ask what your mind needs. Ask things for yourself, and look at yourself in the mirror and be like, what is it that you need, or what I need. And it's calling back to all these other cards right over here. And so ask body is the universe is saying to also take care of yourself as well. This has turned into a full blown on reading. I don't know what the other readings is going to look like, but I'm gonna have to lay down. I think for a moment or two after this reading, because there's just a lot. There is definitely a lot of things going on right over here. Anyway, I'm gonna leave this reading here, and again, I apologize for my cats, but at least you got to see some fluffiness, and I got to feel some. Anyway, if you have liked this video, feel free to like it, yada yada yada, all those things, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Aloha Pile 2, welcome to your reading. You have chosen this very, very smooth, it really looks highly deceiving, Selenite Satin version. Now, normally selenite looks very fibrous if you want to look at it more closely, but for this one, it has been polished to mesmerizing stuff. I can't do words right now. Pile 1 has definitely taken a lot out of me. So we're just going to keep going, keep trucking along. And what we're going to be looking at is, whoops, whoa, easy there, Linda, listen, Linda, easy. So we're going to be looking at, wow, I am sassy already. Oh, okay, stop it. Okay, we're going to be looking at you and them, so person on the left, person on the right. Please take whichever one vibes with you more, resonates with you more, is actually what I would like to say. But man, am I just spicy right now? That's probably setting the themes for this particular deck. Okay, fine, let's just take that. Okay, so stay. Okay. We're going to have this one and this one. So we're going to also be looking at clarifying cards for their energy. This one, and this, and this. Okay. Phew. All right. So we have, for the person on the left, Dragonfly Emergence. Already I'm feeling a lot of queen, not princess. Definitely queen, but more like, not like Princess Leia, more like General Leia. That's what this one is definitely feeling like. We have a queen, we have someone who's confident, who is that go-getter, who is also maybe even into fashion a lot. They also like to dress how they are confident. It's like they put themselves together to enhance and reflect what is inside. Ooh. And this card, this person, definitely ain't taking no shit. But they also have Healer of Ages. So, a lot more of a mature soul, more on the energy side. I mean, how else are you going to be confident if you don't know your shit? They are definitely balanced within themselves. This is not kind of like a holier than thou thing or any sort of religion, or maybe guru or spiritualistic. They might be, but this is definitely speaking more of like they have overcome a lot. They have healed a lot. They wear a lot of their not really trauma. I want to say they wear a lot of their battle scars as a badge of honor. And I did not even bother straightening these over here. Sorry. So we also have door to value, ching, cha-ching. Cheddar, dough, bread, however you want to look at it. That is what this is also here with the dragonfly and emergence. As you can see, there's also a lot of lotus flowers. There's a lot of greenery. There's even swatter. And there's a lot of life reflected in this card. That is also here the door to value. They have worked hard. They have balanced work and life to become prosperous. We have this ornate door. We have these riches right over here, but we also have flowers. We have a garden. We have sunshine. So there's they might even have a nice apartment. They might have things put together, well put, such as their car, or maybe a lot of things paid off, maybe student loans. That would be great. Not envious at all. Well, for me in particular, I don't have any, but very highly envious of a lot of people who are in possible similar situations. So a lot of hard work, a lot of go-getting, a lot of toiling to achieve such a status, such prosperity and balance. Woo! We have for the person on the right, childhood, innocence. Okay. Getting a lot of young energy. I'm not saying that this person is young or years young or maybe even a child. It could be that their personality is more like not so much as a child, but the wonderment of a child, like an extrovert. If you're into Myers Briggs, it's like definitely ENFP energy. So it's a lot of just want to go, just want to experience, just want to share, just want to bask, just want to be out there in the field, maybe even get dirty. Who cares? So we have these two children that are, gazing at the sunlight, but not quite aware of the lightning of the storm within the distance. This is definitely a here and now card. We have playing. We have children that's even kind of stopping their work or maybe even fishing. Maybe somebody is calling them home, but they're just taking this time to admire this brilliance, this radiance. That's what this person is represented right over here by. We also have journey. Definitely feeling like an extroverted person. I want to say bubbly, but not really, because that almost sounds feminine. But if this person is feminine, then that's fine. Bubbly, peppy, just I'm getting a lot of phone calls. Getting a lot of phone calls. Sorry about that. Wants to be on their way, wants to get out in that world, wants to just experience. We have a bag right over here. Maybe they're travel hardy. Maybe they have they have seen many and they always want to see more. They want to have a lot of things out of life, and they go into the world or into other places with eyes wide open as a child would. We also have yin and yang. So definitely feeling like that this particular person has also have things put together as well. We have yin and yang, so they could be maybe more into spiritualism, maybe more into maybe philosophy, or just seeing the world as its light and its dark, almost if not in equal measure. This feels like a very hearty, well grasped, something very, very close to them. It means a whole lot to them. They are focused more on the human aspects of the human experience, not too much into the materialistic. I mean, that probably takes like secondary priority. Um, but it's definitely looking at things in both its light and its dark, and that every light has a shadow, and that is their partner. It's not something that is to be feared. It is definitely just a part of the cycle. So we also are going to be looking at what do you two think about this whole situationship? Like, if you're not together, then what is it? What do you two think about this? This one, and this one. one. Okay. And okay, we'll do that. This and this. Come here. Currently, my mother is on Oahu right now, and my sister has picked up picked her up, but for some reason she just loves to have either one of us as the ride home. She is such a Scorpio and she is such an ENFP. So, excuse me while I just go off on tangent. Anyway, so person on the left. Let's see what they think about this. So, immediately we have Seeker of Orbs. So, Orbs is the swords in the Syrian tarot. So, the Seeker of Orbs is the Page of Swords. So, we have gotten past the burden of the 10, the final nail in the coffin. You know, they have risen from the grave, so to speak, from their coffin. I'm sorry, from their, yeah, basically their coffin or their deathbed. They have removed all the things that have held them down, that have bound them, that, or maybe even possibly death, like I said. But they are keeping that one sword. They have the wounds. They still have the wounds. They still have the scars, and the page is coming into terms with it. They have removed everything that has physically pinned them down, but they are still having those wounds from their entire journey. With the page wants to go. The page wants to move on from that situation because it no longer serves them. So the Seeker of Orbs is holding on to that Ace of Swords or that Ace of Orbs and is going out in the world to see what it has, to see it by its own light and be guided by its logic and just seeing what this could possibly be. So they are definitely, in their minds, are definitely looking at this in a more objective point of view rather than from a emotional feeler's perspective. They're guided more by their minds than their hearts or their libido, if you want to say that. We have Divine Justice in reverse. So it seems like this is playing off of the Seeker of Orbs or the Page of Knights. Wow, excuse me. The Page of Swords. So divine justice is, of course, you know, just kind of just justice in the traditional tarot. With it being in reverse, well, we'll just look at it this way. So we have divine justice. We have a woman who's holding the scales and in the nebula of the eyes of God, in the Libra constellation. I'm not sure if I said that already. But this is usually a balance of not just life itself, but also karma and things beyond, whether it's in the physical plane, the soul plane, the spiritual plane, mental, physical, heart, family, friendships, you know, all those things. That's what this card is represented. There are multiple layers of divine justice and the scales trying to balance itself out, as well as justice towards this particular person. However, since it is in the reverse mode, I'm not particularly surprised because they have overcome a lot, like I said. They have probably overcome a lot of injustice to them, but this can also speak to that there might be episodes of a lack of accountability for this particular person to other people, or other people being accountable to this person. So it's a lot of layers that this one is speaking to. So it seems like they are thinking that this situationship might not be within their best interest. I mean, it looks cool, it looks kind of fun, it almost looks like it's crazy, but they probably are also weighing the possibilities that it might not be such a good idea. We also have Six of Orbs or Six of Swords in reverse. So It's not the five. It is one more sword after the five, which is usually conflict. So we have a, let me put it this way. We have a dolphin who is swimming towards, um oh my gosh. I can't remember exactly words again, like I said, but it is swimming towards a an alchemic formula. So he is this dolphin is going against the waves. It is seeking into waters that may not be clear with a lot of white waves. And there's also a lot of fog in the distance. So the six of orbs or swords speaks to a lot of blindness, not a lot of blindness, but not being able to see, maybe even closing one's eyes when the answer is right in front of them. This dolphin seems to be just blindly going into the ocean and just going. But in the reverse mode, we definitely have an amplification of the unknown. We have amplification of just not being able to see that we can take off the blindfold, that we can just open our eyes. And it is quite possible that it is speaking to a lot of distraction. This person could be distracted right in the here and now, and that's why it's also this divine justice is in reverse, because it is not going to be serving that scale to help balance it out. Or they're having thoughts that this person here on the right side will not be around. Like, why would you want to be with somebody who would just probably pack up and leave? Or, that they're not always there. Because this, even though this feels more like a physical moving, this can also be mental moving. Like, they could be engaged in more social media, into that next post, that next gram, or the next viral thing, and they want to just try it out. Like for TikTok, with all their trends that's going on, they could be looking at this in a very highly unfavorable thing, like, this is probably something that I might want to throw the whole thing out with, or just, throw this particular person out. We also have the Three of Chalices, or the Three of Cups upside down. So this person is definitely be like, I don't know, because we definitely have the Seeker of Orbs setting the stage, but we also have the deeper layers with this person's thoughts that this is probably not going to work out. The cups. There are Three of Cups. There might be joy in this situationship, however temporary, but in the end, it is going to be unfulfilling. There could also be maybe another third party, so to speak, or maybe a friend or a bunch of friends that this person might just dig out for. Because, ooh, they're going to be going to the club, or ooh, they're going to be going to a concert, or this and that, and this and that. And as much as, it's speaking to them and what it is that they like to do, all that childlike thing, it does leave this person on the left side going to be unfulfilled. Those cups are going to start to empty. And this is kind of early on into the situationship as well, because the Three of Cups is kind of close to that Ace, kind of close to that first step. So this is more than likely going to be speaking to, like, not that far deep into, if this relationship does happen, not that far along, there's going to be a sense of unfulfillment and possibly feeling like the third wheel. Ooh, I don't like this. Not at all. Not at all. For the person who here on the right side, what do they think about this relationship? So we have the Sage of Flames, which is the Queen of Wands in the traditional tarot. So they're seeing this definitely as a teaching moment, as well as a teaching moment, or a teaching bond, and then also for them to also teach as well. So we have many hands, we have many arms. Again, wands, I think, still symbolizes the flame and the earth. There's a lot of wisdom. There's also a lot of movement. That's the thing. And with the Queen of Wands, normally I would say that she is setting down her roots and she is prospering her kingdom. Maybe with a king, or they are a king. It's just a particular formality in royalty, but they are definitely having things thrive. That is what this card is also representing right over here. However, more than likely that this is also representing the fact that they move a lot, but they also bring a lot of knowledge with them, which speaks again to the journey card right over there and the childhood and innocence. So they definitely have a lot of things that they bring with them. Like it's like bringing a giant backpack and taking it everywhere you go. It's like putting that house in your bag and taking it everywhere you go. You have the things that you need, you have the knowledges that you need, but you don't stay in the place for too long. But you do take the time to teach others around you and still have that burning passion. That's what this is represented right over here. We also have Adept of Crystals. So they see this situationship as a possibility for prosperity. The Adept of Crystals is the Knight of Pentacles. I'm getting better at these tarots, by the way. The more that I use these cards, the better I'm remembering what they mean in the traditional tarot. So they definitely see a heavy amount of fertileness here. We have a man who is admiring a glowing crystal with castles and finery and riches in the background, which this person obviously on the left brings. Definitely is feeling a lot of surface energy though. There's Earth energy is definitely the materialistic, so they do see a heavy possibility in enriching themselves and as well as enriching their experience. I'm not saying that this person is out to use this person, but that is what they're thinking of in the right here and now, because this person being it's go-getter, extrovert, sensory possibly, or basically sensory. It's a little bit more on the surface, with a few notches below the surface area, with superficial with their thoughts. We also have the Ace of Crystals in reverse, so it is quite possible that they're feeling like they're they could be smothered. So we have this crystal that in its right up position, it is emerging from this ground, or it has been unearthed. In the reverse segment, it is being buried or reburied. Its light and its brilliance is being smothered back into the earth, or it's being covered back up. So if they do kind of get into this relationship, the further buried into their thoughts is that they, or maybe in their feelings, is that they feel like that they will get buried, burdened, so to speak. Not saying that this person on the left would smother them, but this is something that they feel this is more of a them problem. It's not so much as inadequacy, but it just feels like that they are just gonna get, I want to say, suffocated. And we also have Four of Chalices in the upright position over here. So this is kind of a reflection of the Three of Chalices. This person feels it more intensely. This in the reverse position, it is definitely amplified. This person in the right up position, they will feel a little bit helpless. But in the upright position, it's a little bit more on the lighter side. Now they're looking up at the stars and they're being like, if I can just go, if I can just possibly have this, or what's next around the corner, because it definitely feels like they don't want to be stagnant, and that's what this is being represented right over here. They feel within their soul, to their very core, that being stuck here in this tumultuous water, in this white water right over here, and just being trapped. Even though life, again, this is a teaching moment. Even though there's this Ace of Cups, even though we have the cups right over here, the possibility of it, of the dolphin bringing this cup to this woman, but this woman is just looking up rather than seeing that the cup is coming towards her. Definitely just looking beyond what could possibly be, and definitely feeling that with the rest of these cards right over here is that even though this person has, this teaching moment, this passion and whatnot, and the possibilities of being enriched and fulfilled on at least on the physical plane, they will eventually feel like they're being smothered in their own minds, and then they'll start being like just looking beyond and being unsatisfied. That's what this is being right over here. Ooh, what? Wow, just what even? I was being sassy for a reason. So we're going to be looking at the current moon phase. So this is definitely going to be giving us a clue whether or not this whole thing should happen, whether you're the person on the left or the person on the right. Or maybe you're both watching this, I'm not sure. So this one and this one. So we have your hard work is paying off. New moon in Capricorn. So if you do want to give, this feels like you two kind of want to give this situation a go, or at least you are working through what life has thrown at you recently. Your hard work is paying off. Yes, I do want to say that there is a bit of a plateau, that a bit of a breather that is currently happening right now. I do want to stress though that it is in Capricorn, and Capricorn is definitely that earthen energy, but it is a kind of a task master, I feel like, energy. And it's not going to be the easiest thing. It's kind of on the rocky side, especially if it's a new moon. So there's plenty of unknowns and possibilities. We also have look at the bigger picture, full moon and Sagittarius. And this is definitely a card you do not want to mess with. I say that with majority of the cards, but for this one in particular, since it is in the Sagittarius and also in the full moon, there is a possibility of getting burned. You definitely have to look at the entire room or read the entire room if the situation starts to get a little bit on the hairy side. And with the new moon in Capricorn as well as Sagittarius, we already have conflicting right over here, conflicting elements. We have earth element and we do have the fire element, and both of these, I wouldn't say they're very difficult to work with, but both of them are definitely set in their ways. You can't exactly tell a Capricorn what to do, and you definitely can't tell a Sagittarius what to do. They're both just going to dig their heels in, or let somebody have it. I want to say, just want to let somebody have it. So this is the current right now. We have some definite conflicting energies, even though it seems like that there's some peace over here. There's definitely still quite a bit of stubbornness. And then over here, look at the bigger picture. It's going to be a little bit tough for both of these people to come to terms with the bigger picture, just because there's some stubbornness going on. But when there is a bigger picture, then we can be stubborn about something else. I'm not too terribly sure what it is, but probably it's like sometimes you stare at a picture because somebody tells you, oh, why don't you just look at the bigger picture? Why don't you see it from my perspective? So you do, you do that. You look at the bigger picture. You look at it from a different perspective. You kind of put yourself in their shoes. Honestly, why the fuck should we? Sometimes, especially if it's a person that we don't like, and you're still going to stick with your guns. I mean, sometimes people say that, be like, why don't you just listen to me and shut up? That's basically what I'm feeling. Looking at it in the bigger picture, which is why there is two conflicting energies right over here. You can look at the bigger picture, but you're still going to stick to your guns, and you're not going to give up your side. Which one is fine? Two, when people say look at the bigger picture, they really just want you to be just to give up and just let them have the power. I want to say just no. So that is the current right now. We're going to be looking at what would happen in the near future phase. if it actually gets there. So near future usually means can range between 1 month, not a few weeks. This definitely not going to be a few weeks, to 2 years. But again, everything is organic, and things can change. This is just a snapshot of here and now. So in the near future, it's time to take action. New moon in Aries, and we have more stubborn energy. We have the Ram, the Aries. The Aries energy, the Ram just goes. The Ram doesn't. I wouldn't say brainless. They do have brains, but they act more on instinct. They will they will make it happen. They will just go. They will step. They will charge. If they have it in their mind, they're just gonna be like, frick it, and just do it. So we have it's time to take action. So whether new moon in Aries, again, possibilities, whether or not it's to end it, I'm definitely hearing more to end it, or to take the plunge. Take the plunge in something, but I won't say which one it is. So we also have the answers you need are coming full moon in Gemini. Do not mess with full moons again. But for this one in particular, full moon is just illuminating everything. Just illuminating those answers, revealing it out of the darkness or pushing away the darkness. And with Gemini, it is not a duality, so to speak. Gemini for this one, I think, is just saying that to focus heavily on the logic side of it, to use one's head to have communication. Both need to have communication. Oh man, this is a lot of hard energy. So you have new moon. We also have full moon. It's very tough, very very tough to say if you two do decide to come together. We also are going to be looking at cautions. Cautions should this come to be. So we have this one, and this one. Okay. We have the Wizard, Ruin King, Wise One, and Counselor. So it seems like already, if this does happen, and if apparently you wanna forego all that vibe check and have at it, definitely you will need to consult someone who is not in the situation. I wouldn't say older, but just not involved in the situation, to have an outside perspective and to just kind of bring it down a notch. I'm not going to say it's a therapist. It could possibly be a therapist, a relationship therapist, marriage counselor, and all those things. Because again, counselor, it's just the fact that there's going to be a lot of counseling, whether it's through friends, whether it's through parents or siblings, or guidance, meditation. There's just going to be a lot of a need, a huge need. We also have Elven Touch, recovery, comeback, revival. Whew. There's going to be a lot of burning. There's going to, again, there's a heavy amount of unfulfillment and void and lack thereof, and looking beyond. So there's going to be a lot of back and forth. There's going to be a lot of recovery. There's going to be a lot of leaving and coming back, and a lot of trying to rekindle this, or rekindling, and it's going to be coming back to this counseling, whether or not you two want to come back. It's just going to be this tug of war. Not really a war per se. It's just going to be a lot of exchange, a lot of give up, a lot of trying again. We also have Vulva, prophecy, guidance, and direction. This one is definitely reinforcing the counselor card. I'm also getting that guidance as well, which hence the prophecy, and again it says guidance here and direction. So there's going to be a lot of needs for direction as well. So we're going to see what Spirit has to say. Whoops, 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 whoops. Easy, easy there, easy there. I know this is a toughie, but we need to relax. Relax, relax your shuffling. I'm going to get a cramp. Okay, so here, here, and here. Okay, so we're going to be looking at what does Spirit have to say. So romantic feelings, your feelings are real and worth exploring. I mean, this is pretty self-explanatory. It's like Spirit didn't even have to tell you. I mean, the only reason why that you're hearing this video is because, you know, you want to know. And does it pass the vibe check? Do you want it to pass the vibe check, you know? But this is definitely telling you your romantic feelings for this particular person is real. And you kind of figured that out, I'm sure, if you really thought about it, and if you sit just with your thoughts. So, you know, again, it is a highly teaching moment. Every single relationship is a very teaching moment. I'm actually going to put these over here. So it is a very teaching moment, and there's nothing wrong with exploring it. I'm not Spirit is not saying, you know, to dive headfirst into this at all. No, no, no. They're just validating your feelings and that it is real. And this one, they're also saying love yourself first. Your self-respect makes you more romantically attractive. We could see with the person on the left side that, you know, they kind of got everything down on pat. I mean, it's to the point where it's even dripping everywhere. The person on the right side, maybe not so much, because again, they're more so going out there and seeing what the world has to offer, and they're not really not really well. I'm not trying to say they're not well-rounded within themselves, but they haven't given themselves time to grow up. I'm just going to say that. They haven't really given themselves time to grow up, because how one becomes an adult too is that, you know, they grow with themselves and they improve themselves. But for that particular person on the right side, says they are going around so much, they're putting out all their energy, all their thoughts on everything else outside of themselves rather than focusing on inside. But this is also a reminder to the person on the left side is that, you know, you yourself comes first. Take care of yourself. Put that oxygen mask on yourself before you assist the other person next to you, as they always say on the airplane. We also have trust. This situation is calling for you to have faith. This is not saying that, you know, again, go ahead and do this. This is not saying to have faith that this relationship is going to work out. This is more so saying to have faith in yourself. This is a huge, huge mountain that you're climbing. There's going to be a lot of sliding. There's going to be a lot of hesitation. If you've ever climbed a mountain, or if you've ever had a project, or you have to face like the music, so to speak, or if you're being confronted, if you want to come off strong, you need to have trust and faith in yourself. You need to have that confidence. You can't be saying, you can't be saying, or I don't know. That's what this card is saying. The situation is calling for you to have faith. Is to have faith in yourself. To know that, you know, one, you're enough. Two, you don't have to question yourself. You know, it is speaking more towards you. You know, your romantic feelings, love yourself, and, you know, everything that you both have worked for. This whole thing is probably putting your head on a swivel upside down and probably stirring around in a whirlpool. This is saying to just have grounding, just to ground yourself, to just have pure and simple faith. I know that's pretty ambiguous. I know that's really huge and unknown, and but I honestly could not tell you the specifics. Again, this is a general reading, but spirit is just telling me to say that, because we're not even sure if this whole situationship is going to happen. Because it looks like it really should not, but that's not for me to say. It's what's for me to say is that this is just general, and I can only give you what it looks like. I thrive on free will, and you are more than welcome to to do the situation, to make it a relationship, to make it work or not. And they are also within their power to make this work or not. This is not for me to say. So just because I might think that this whole thing should not happen, just because there might be a lot of heartache, but it's not a whole lot of heartache. Let's just make that clear. This whole thing is not saying it's a complete dumpster fire. It's not even a trash fire to begin with. This is just a snapshot. If you would like to do it, by all means, go ahead and do it. No one else's opinion should matter except yours and theirs alone. And I'm going to get off my soapbox and continue the rest of this reading. Anyway, we're going to be looking at what the universe might possibly say about the situation. So here we go. This one and this one. Can't believe I talked for that long about that. Anyway, we have the pillar. Let me just get you a good shot and try and look at everything. I know it's a little tough. So let me just have it at an angle. So we have a gateway. So we have things going to and from, leaving or coming, and we have pillars of stability, of maybe knowledge, of wisdom. We also have two hearts, and we have two snakes touching, and we have a lot of crystal energy. So this is basically saying that if you've ever heard people say make a wish on 1111, it's just because 11 is the master number in numerology. That one of the first, well, not one of the first, is the first master number in numerology, and it is also viewed as a gateway. When somebody says to make a wish on 1111, it just means that the two gates are open to the universe, open to you. Just be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. But it also might be at a level that it's in intensity. It is definitely not as intense as the 99, but let's just say that the universe is a massive amount of energy, and it will come through in a massive amount of folds. But for this particular one, it's just saying that this whole nounship is going to be a massive teaching moment between you and them. We also have strength. We also have we have a tree or a crystal here with a lot of roots going on. So this is more so saying have strength in yourself, have strength in your faith, and trust in yourself, and that you will be fine. But this whole situationship again is going to test your mettle. It's going to test your strength. It might even uproot you, or it might not. Everything will all depend on the both of you. We also have nature right over here. I know, a little tough to see. So we have many eyes here. We also have the moon and a lot of radiance going on. So this is a seed, essentially. And this is basically saying that this might be something very new to the both of you. And this might be the seed that grows this tree or this crystal, this strength that the two of you might come away with, or it might be the seed that ruptures these roots. It's going to be up to the both of you, whichever way it's going to go. But overall, this is this is going to be a tough one. Um, and that's all I can actually really say about that. So let's get you one last look at your Selenite Satin, and my God, I need to hold this for a while. So I'm going to leave this reading right here. If you'd like to comment, like this video, etc., I'm not gonna hammer that in there. I value free will. So whether or not this situationship is going to happen, feel free, I kind of actually want to know. But if you don't want to say anything, that is completely fine. Other than that, I hope you take care, and I will see you in the next video. Take care. Aloha Pile 3, welcome to your reading, and if you notice anything different from the intro video, that's because it's actually the next day. I did the two readings previously for the piles before yours, and I ended up kind of falling asleep, but actually I just needed to also get to bed early so I could get to work, but that didn't work out. Anyway, we're just going to move on from that. So you have chosen this peach moonstone, black moonstone actually, peach black moonstone. Right over here, you can get a little bit of that shine, and yes, she's definitely a heavy one. I want to say actually this is more of a male energy. I don't know, sometimes I just feel that from my crystals. So I'm going to put this here because this one just likes to roll around a lot. Wooden donuts come in handy. Okay. So what we're going to be looking at first and foremost is that right side, left side. Choose which side that resonates more with you. I'm not going to designate who is what. So in this vibe check, we're going to see what we can see. Oh my God. Okay. Okay, we'll just leave that. Okay, we'll just do two. This one here, this one here, this one here. Okay, pile 3. You definitely are getting two. Lucky you. Just gonna set this right here, and then I'm gonna put this kind of smushed together. But it would be great if they line up and I wasn't such a hardness for straightening stuff. Anyway, we're going to get some clarifying cards, energy for the present time between you and your person. This one here. This one here. This is going to be an interesting formation, I can tell. And this one here. And this one here. Okay, so we are going to start with the person on the left. So we're going to, why do I have to make it difficult for myself? Let's put this here. So we have, I am blessed. So this person here on the left side recognizes that there is much to be grateful for, that there's, it's not so much as fortune in terms of money, it could be, or materialistic things. What this card represents more so, as we can see with the doves here, and we do see kind of a big home in the background. So there's a lot of stability in this person's life, where they have either achieved it, or I wouldn't say it's given to them, or they have been raised in an environment. There's not a whole lot of strife at the moment. There's a lot of peace, there's a lot of calm, and this person definitely feels that they're a lot better off than most other people that they might know in their lives, such as maybe they have a job, that maybe they didn't get laid off during the pandemic, or there's still the walls in your house or your apartment, and you're just thankful for the things that make your life blessed and fortunate. Excuse me. Asthma's kind of kicking in at the moment. We also have don't compromise. So, not only are you blessed, this also helps you become more comfortable and accepting of yourself because it's less stress on you. And you also have the don't compromise. So you are able to one, like I said, accept who you are and recognize who you are, and you don't have to shape yourself. I'm sorry, I keep saying you. This person does not have to shape themselves for anybody. Most of the time, we have various personas that we use outside in public, with our friends, with our family. But for this particular person, since they are pretty, it seems like very blessed all around. They don't have to make a whole lot of changes, or they really don't feel like they have to do a whole lot of changes. There's not a lot of chameleon going on for this particular person, which is really great. They are also, with the don't compromise, uh, this also speaks to their morals as well, or their devotion, or their convictions. We also have the action card that is clarifying all this right over here. So if everything is stable, everybody is okay in their lives, and they're very much well into themselves and all put together, they can take action and just go for it. There's not a whole lot of worry. It's not so much as the Aries energies, that they have a whole lot of momentum going for them, and they are able to take action. And then this person on the left side is also a little bit more on the mature side in regards to their soul or even their mentality. I'm not saying their age, but they very well could be. But since they are secure, they can just get up and go, or they can just get in their car and they can go to their job. There's not a whole lot to worry about, and get things done. We also have a hawk all the way up here, and I don't know if you can hear it on the um on the microphone, but there is quite a bit of a thunderstorm going on right now, and I am hot and sweaty and sticky. Hence why I'm actually doing this in the afternoon, because it has just been a day of humidity. So, anyway, we have a hawk up here. So, with a lot of hawks, if you've ever seen hawks or if you've seen eagles, because this very well could also be one, take whichever one that you like. They are always high and observant, or they ascend to higher a higher altitude or a higher level, like they hunt for that air current. If you ever see them circling, it's not so much as if they're looking for prey. They could be, but most of the time they are circling to get higher and higher and higher. They're reading those air currents. They're reading that path that they should take. They are feeling it. It is almost on instinct. And the higher that they go, a bigger perspective that they can get. And with the eyes of a hawk or an eagle, they are still very sharp, even if they are high up in the sky. So that is this right here for this particular person. So this one, could also be a lot of tenacity with this particular person. And tenacity, and not as in like, a bulldog or anything, when they latch on and they never let go. This is more so like they're always in pursuit. They're always in pursuit of something. They want to get that done. They want to accomplish. They just go and they focus on that goal, and they have a lot of things going for them, and they have also possibly a gift of foresight. We also have second chakra, Archangel Ariel. So, excuse me. So the second chakra is, of course, that one step up of so one step up above sacral chakra. Or I mean, not sacral. Excuse me, the root chakra. So there's it kind of again speaks to the action. So the root is more of the baser instincts, the sexual, just more of the bodily feel, and reaction, like initial knee-jerk reaction. This is one step up higher. So there's still a lot of determination. There's still a lot of grounding. There is still a lot of movement. It's not too much of a higher conscience, but that's okay because since they are secured up here in their higher consciousness, they can focus more on their baser pyramid, the what makes up below that. Because we have this action card right over here. As this is more of an action oriented person, this one is a perfect example of what is their power base, actually, is one of their greatest strengths. So we're going to be looking at person here on the right. If I can grab it, and this one, and fix this, because I'm a little bit of a stickler. We have Goddess of Oneness here on the right side. So while this particular person here on the left might not be thinking about this particular situationship, nounship, or thingship, whatever you want to call this person is definitely more developed along the lines that they have grown more into their feelings, that it's past the infatuation stage. Usually when you have an attraction to somebody and you think about them all the time, you kind of obsess with them, over them all the time, and it's pretty strong, especially with the compatibility for that maybe quote unquote love at first sight sort of thing. That is definitely more of an infatuation, not a whole lot of thought given to it. It's just one of the more baser initial, I won't say primal, but it's a little bit more developed than primal. But for this particular one, Goddess of Oneness is, as you can see, she's in this forest. She's confident in herself. She's not hopelessly in love. Goddess of Oneness is a card that says that you're both thinking of each other, or this person is thinking of the other person. Like I said, this person on the left is not focusing too much really on what this relationship could be with the vibes and whatnot. But do take a look at this. I am blessed. So, and the Goddess of Oneness, they are facing each other. And we also have birds over here. We also have birds over here. And they're practically mirrors of each other. And actually, they are mirrors. I didn't recognize that until now. So there's a lot of duality that is happening right over here. There's a lot of mirror work going on between you and this person, whichever side that you are on. But I'm guessing if you are watching this video, you're definitely on the right side, but I could be wrong, and that is okay, because again, this is a general reading. But as you can see, if you want to look at it this way, we have two of them facing each other. We have a forest of possibilities, of a lot of trees, of many pathways that are not set. But it is also a very healthy and stable environment. We have right over here something that's a little bit more on the rigid rules, logic, very well constructed base on this side. There's not a whole lot of, yes, there's a lot of water going on. There's a lot of slight mists every once in a while, but these walls will barely change. Whereas this one over here, we have the trees that are constantly growing. So there seems to be this harmony, this mirroring harmony of the, what am I trying to say? Of the structure and the non-structure. I wouldn't say it's like two sides of a coin, and I also won't really say twin flames. I'm not quite getting that, because twin flames is supposed to be both of you. It's in a very intense situation. There's a lot of back and forth. There's a lot of running. There's a lot of chasing. There's a lot of crying. There's a lot of sobbing. There's a lot of pain and a lot of wondering why. For this particular mirroring that's going on right over here, it's definitely more on the stable side. It is definitely not up in the air. It is not possibilities. It is not some chaotic energies going on. There's a lot of peace, stillness, and calmness right over here, as well as being guided by spirit or whichever deity that you identify most with, or maybe even yourself, because these these doves or these birds could also be a representation of your mind as well, because just because your head says one thing or your heart says one thing, that doesn't mean that you can't have advice from any different parts of yourself. With the goddess of oneness right over here, there's also quite a bit of dream work that goes on. This side, not so much. There's more of a daydream going on for this one, but here, this one at night, definitely. There's a lot of reaching out for this particular person, that they're always on this person's mind and heart, even though they can function throughout the day. It doesn't really bother them too much, but they still think about this person without getting too caught up in emotions. But let's just make it clear that this person's emotions for this particular one are very genuine. They are very real. This person might have some difficulty believing that, am I feeling, is it really real, or is it again like infatuation and whatnot? But we'll see what the rest of these cards say. Let me put your fears to rest. We also have the Golden Path Within. So this card is one of the best cards that you can get from this particular oracle deck. For like the tarot cards, I mean, the star card is always one of the best cards to get. I beg to differ sometimes because it can be misleading. But for this one in particular, the Golden Path Within, this is symbolizing that the golden path that this person walks on is the right path. There's a lot of guidance here. There's a lot of serenity, even because they have a golden path not only that they walk on, but within themselves and in their minds. And they are guided by this light. They can walk through this forest, not be afraid. No matter what kind of shadow. I mean, this is a very good card to have for this particular person here on the right side, that, whatever it is they're going through at the moment, or, their thoughts and about this whole situationship, it is a highly beneficial path that you're on, a journey. I'm not saying it's going to be the right decision if you or this person, initiates this relationship or initiates this something else getting towards the relationship. But for this particular person, this is just a card of support, of reassurance that what you feel is real. This is not saying that all this is, kind of like destiny. That's not what this is. This is just a confirmation that what you're feeling, what you're thinking, how you're developing yourself inside and outside is the right path. So we're also going to be getting your energy cards, this person's energy cards. We have the Angel of Love. So there's a lot of inner workings going on. There's a lot of things that deals with the heart for this particular person. There might be some scars, some emotional scars. Maybe they've gotten burned by somebody, or they've been ghosted. I'm definitely feeling like before, or this is something new. But I'm getting the impression that for this particular person, maybe they've had very few. They've had relationships before, or they had some strange relationship going on. Like they're feeling something with somebody. Like they're making this connection, but nothing happens. And it just completely fell apart before it could even be called a thing. Like maybe one or two sort of thing-ships going on for that particular person earlier on in their life, but it has left quite a big impression, a lot of or scars or wounds for this particular person, which is why that they're a little bit more cautious, because they're like, again, is this actually what is it? Just what the hell is it? Is it actually love, or is it something else? Just a lot of second guessing, third, fourth, fifth guessing. So they're definitely looking more so at their heart and, going over what it is that they've experienced in the past and be like, I don't even know what to think. I don't know what to do with this information. But there is definitely a heavy amount of genuine love. I want to say that in the plain and simple terms, this is definitely love that they are feeling. It is not anything instinct. It is not anything basic or any base for that matter. This is more so around the heart chakra area. We also have first chakra Archangel Michael. So first chakra, like I said over here, it's it deals with the base of the spine. It is the closest to the ground. It is closest to the earth. It is the root of oneself. So there is a lot of physical body, a lot of sensualizing, and a lot of sexual drive. Just that very first initial spark. Which is why again they're hesitating because they also feel this strongly for this particular person. And Archangel Michael definitely is a protector. So as you can see, he is holding this sword, but he is holding it over his heart. So I also feel that this is a little bit of a Two of Swords action, that they are guarding themselves, yet they feel that base so strongly for this person that, again, this card is looking over here, being like, that's a fine, fine person. So, and not gonna lie, I feel like that the person that this one is looking at is very handsome or very beautiful. Take whichever one that resonates, or just be all fine and wonderful. But yeah, so we are going to be looking at next. What do you think about this whole shenanigans? But I think I kind of went over a little bit as to what it is that is going through this person's mind. But for you in particular, and not designating at all as to which one is who, we're going to see what you think about it. Okay. That was surprisingly easy. So let's see. Okay. And okay. This one. Okay, so we have reflection. So these are the Syrian Starseed Tarots. As you can see, again, if you have not seen my other videos, this deck is absolutely huge. I mean, in comparison to my hand, so I have an awful time trying to shuffle these cards, and I have dropped them way too many times. I also get cramped a little bit with this deck, but anyway. So reflection, in the traditional tarot, this is the Hermit card. So again, it's a reinforcement of what we see over here, that there's a lot of retreat into introspection. Looking at it from a different perspective, like you are withdrawing your mind from the world. I'm not saying that that this person, you in particular, are completely out of reality. It seems like you tend to look at things in an objective way while still multitasking efficiently. So we have the man right over here. He is ascending a little bit into what this tower is. No, I want to point that out. For the Syrian Starseed, this hermit crab, wow, excuse me, this hermit represented here, there's definitely two mega energies with this one. I want to stress that because he is climbing a tower. So when he gets to the top of this tower or the top of this castle, he's going to make a decision, and it's going to be a tarot moment. So, it's throwing back to right over here for this particular person. I'm feeling like that it's going to be a very huge step. But for now, there's definitely a heavy amount of thinking, of perspectives, of just removing the emotions and the heart of the situation so they don't get corrupted with their decision making. And we also have Eight of Crystals in reverse, which is the Eight of Pentacles in the traditional tarot. So we have it in the reverse position. So it seems like because the other person might be on this side, I'm guessing. So there seems to be not a whole lot of stability, at least, like they're not going to be present all the time because they are always not single-minded, not narrow-minded, but just so determined and persevere to a goal or several goals, like they have a schedule. They may not always be present, in which case, there's a little bit of a fallout with having that earth energy, that ground support. So in the right up position, we have a man who is polishing these crystals and he's admiring his work. So this one, it's sort of a card of rest, so to speak, to reevaluate, to contemplate, to envision just a little bit more before you achieve that goal. And we also have a tower here, another tower here in the background, or a castle. So he is admiring his work right now while also wanting to, like, maybe dwell in this, maybe to buy this. And it is a big and strong tower or castle or mansion, which is the home, which is a representation of home, of a place to belong, a place to sleep, and just a place to be safe. But since it is in the reverse position, this also makes the person, you think that this might not be in the best position right now at this point in time. I'm going to have to think about it some more. And you also are feeling like you don't want to get in this person's way, is what I feel like getting in the way of their dreams, which I highly doubt that. We have also the Three of Flames, or the Three of Wands, which is always a representation of a celebration. But unlike the Three of Chalices, the Three of Wands, or the Three of Flames, is more of a time of a plateau, not so to speak. It's like you have climbed that first leg of the journey, and you're just having a slight rest right now. But you are looking back at the what you have accomplished thus far. You have taken that first step with that Ace of Wands, or that Ace of Flames, and you are looking forward to that journey off into the distance. And for right now, you are celebrating both your endeavors of actually getting out there, of opening yourself up to the possibilities. And then also, having that initial difficulty to set that first flame, that first wand on fire, to light your way, that first thought that you've had, that passion. I still think wands are actually two elements to me. Because wands are supposed, or staves for that matter. I mean, they're pretty direct, but they represent passion, they represent earth energy, and of course, passion to me is more of that spark, that flame, and you cannot have that spark, flame, or that drive to learn and get out there without fuel. So that's why I think wands are earth and fire, which is great because sometimes you need a little bit of that stability for that flame, to stabilize that flame, but you also need that flame to turn that earth energy into something more. Yeah, they might be a little bit at odds with each other sometimes, but that's what I feel. So we definitely have a lot of wondering the possibilities and definitely feeling that passion. And of course, we have the Archangel Michael in the first chakra right over here as well. We also have the Six of Flames. So this is again a throwback to the conflict that we are having right now for you in particular. So the Six of Flames is that aftermath of the Five of Flames, or the Five of Wands, which represents conflict. Here we have the one person with the flame that is burning the brightest, and is shining over everything, outshining the conflict, or we have a leadership coming into this position. So there seems to be some determination to make this into something. But again, it is just still that baby step after the conflict, at least the inner conflict. This doesn't represent external energy, like it's not your group of friends, it is not within your family. This is definitely within yourself. But we still have plenty of passion and a lot of drive and traveling for just having this endeavor. I'm just going to scooch this a bit more. So we're going to be looking at what do they think and what do they feel. Okay, so we have shadow. So the shadow is, I believe the devil. I believe it's the devil. Hold on. I am not a dumb this time. If you have seen my other videos, I have just been freaking guessing. But I have the book with me. I'm not such a dummy right now. Yay! I don't even know where that came from. Yay! So, shadow, let's see. Yes, it is definitely the devil card. But it is represented obviously not as the devil. So we have the silhouette here of the Sphinx. There is another card. I forget it. Oh, it's kind of like the Hierophant card. But here we have the Sphinx in shadow, so it's more of its darker side. So, like the Hierophant, for they receive messages from above, from the divine, from guidance. For here in the shadow, it is almost the opposite. There is still that guidance there in the background, but it is also deceptive. We have this web right over here, and we have two figures here that are caught up in it. We have a man and a woman, I think it is. And the usual devil in the tarot is represented by at least a man and a woman who are enslaved to the devil. This is not a negative card by all means, and the devil is also not really a negative card by all means as well. It is just a representation of the binding of the darkness to one's light, of the baser, the lesser, higher thinking, or maybe even a disregard to guidance, which is here also represented in the Sphinx. They might be, they are drawn, how sometimes we are drawn to things that, would frighten other people. Like some people like the dark, some people like to go out at night, not have light, or they're into the occult, all those things that are not exactly viewed very well in the light's perspective. This is sort of being represented right over here. It's that temptation of the shadow of what's in the dark, or maybe they're caught up in themselves, like they right over here, they are caught up in that one or two mental goals, or just gunning for it and not really taking stock of anything else, because they feel like that they're blessed that they don't have to worry about it. But this is more like a narrow perspective. So this seems like that this particular person right over here is definitely more, again, in their baser and not highly aware state of mind, kind of more into themselves rather than other people. I'm just going to overlap this a little bit. I'm going to put this book away. Okay. We also have Nine of Crystals, so it's a reinforcement again of the shadow right over here. They're looking more so over their finances, their wealth, the chest that they have gathered everything in. Bank accounts, maybe a home, and as you can see right over here, we have a garden that is very well taken care of. We have very flat grass, we have things growing in a certain order. We also have an owl here that's kind of in the backdrop. So we have a woman who is gazing into this chest and her riches thus far along her journey. Nine of Crystals is of course one step away from the quote unquote goal of the 10, the prosperous 10. This is a time of peace at the moment with a lot of earthly gatherings and just taking stock of everything. It is after the 8 of Crystals or Pentacles, which is before the harvest. So this is almost the harvest as well. I know for some cards it is actually the kind of the reaping of the bounties. Not exactly celebrating just yet, like with the 10 of Pentacles, but they have reaped their goods. We have Starseed in reverse. Now, the Starseed is a replacement for. Is a replacement for the Fool. Let me show you right side up. So we have the star that is falling towards this planet, towards this lotus flower. It is actually a very beautiful card and I resonate very well. That's just because I'm mostly a Syrian starseed. But anyway, we have here in the darkness, we have a light that comes down from the heavens, and it is shining bright in the secret and cover of darkness. This is in an unknown location. You see some mountains in the background. Either dawn is coming or it is sunset. And then it is heading towards this lotus flower to be planted, to be mixed, joining of heaven and earth and all its elements. That's what the starseed is representing right over here. And with the Fool, it is, the Fool is just blindly lifting his leg over that cliff. He is guided by faith. He is guided by not the question as to why. He's just gonna do it, and he has plenty going for him, and he's just venturing out into that unknown. Since it is in the reverse, it is speaking towards this. So this is basically saying that they're not thinking too terribly hard about the situation. It's not to say that they're looking at this situationship unfavorably and that they don't want this relationship. This is just something that's not a good time right now in their point in their lives at this point. Like, it is there. Let's just settle that right now. The seed for this whole thing is there in their mind. It's not at the forefront of their mind. It's not at the middle burner. It is some kind of more on the back burner. They know it can be very beneficial. They know it can grow into something beautiful, because this is also an arcane card. But their faith and trust, in the higher realms or the higher thinking is on its head right now. They are in this shadow card. We also have the Chariot in reverse. Let me. So usually chariots, again, it's kind of like karma coming at a fast pace right at you, and it's going to freaking run you over. And this card is definitely not one to be messed with. Here we have a castle being, drawn by all these horses, and it's a fast card. In all fairness, this is kind of also like Justice compounded over time. So it's like the Justice card compounded, and every lifetime you probably adds a horse. It is going to be coming with a massive amount of momentum from the past. But since it is in the reverse, it's speaking to the stagnant right now. We might have, for the person that you're interested in, there might be things that are coming up from the past that no one has ever seen before, or they have probably seen this coming, but they haven't told anybody because it wasn't important at the time, or it's probably not important right now. But If you haven't learned your lessons, life is going to throw it back at you. Back and forth, back and forth. It will keep you in that loop until you freaking get it. Not only freaking get it, but accept it, understand it, and learn from it and move on. So this is definitely speaking to that there is a heavy past that is coming up behind them on their heels, and it might even get pretty ugly. So they're looking at this as a pretty favorable relationship, but it's not going to be anytime soon. There's just so much going for them right now, which is okay because you are not quite ready right now. There's like, with this one on the left side with with so much action going on, and getting higher, that hawk going higher and higher. The thing is, you see the hawk at a distance, and the hawk sees you at a distance, or not at all. They're just not paying attention because it is not what they're looking for, or it is not part of their information, so they just block it out. So, I mean, that's okay. I mean, yes, it sort of might hurt right now, and of course we have some scars that we're working through over here as well, because you're constantly left in a state of why sometimes. But it is all in good time, because this is not a good time for them right now. It's just not. And yeah, there's a lot of up in the air. Yeah, there's just a lot of up in the air. It's very convoluted right now. So we're going to be looking at what is the current phase. What is the current phase? And then we're going to be looking at what is the near future phase. So this one and this one. Okay. Lady, guy, gal, queen, king, I want you to look at this, and I want you to take this to heart. You are good enough. I'm not too sure why I'm stressing this so much, but you are good enough. And this is a full moon in Virgo. So this one is saying to take care, to please take care, but also to recognize that, yes, you are enough. This is not more so speaking to the person that you're interested in. This is more so speaking to you, this particular message. We also have be bold and make the first move. That's a little tough to see. So this is the cardinal moon. So the cardinal moon, cardinal just means they're like the first to do something. I mean, I'm a Cancer, and that is a cardinal sign. They're not the fixed. They are not the mutable. They are definitely the ones that does something first. So be bold and make the first move. I'm not saying to propose this relationship. Let's put the brakes on that one, because again, right over here, this not ready, and also not quite ready yet either, because you need to focus on this right over here. So be bold and make the first move to come back into yourself. That is what this is saying right over here. This is the current phase. And also could be the other person as well right now, because we have this Chariot in reverse. They might feel like they're not up to snuff. They're not up to par for what's going to come, and they might feel like it might just give them a whiplash. It might be a car, it might be a truck, or it might be an 18-wheeler that comes to, throw them underneath, or just a bus. So there's definitely that as well. So this one. Okay, don't give me 5. Don't give me 5. So we're going to be looking at what would the phase be in the near future. So that might be ranging from anywhere between 1 month. I'm not saying this is going to happen in a few weeks as of this video, or it could be up to 2 years. It's just that things happen. Life is organic. It doesn't always stay the same. This is just basically the snapshot of the here and now. So take time to breathe out. Disseminating moon. So whether or not you are involved as well, or you get roped into this karma that is coming towards them, this, or the aftermath of whatever it is that you choose. Because let's just be honest here, whether it does pass your vibe check later on, or if it doesn't, and you both choose to go into this relationship or not, it is going to be intense either way. Like I said, there is definitely tower moments over here. We have a lot of fire right over here. We also have major arcanas for this particular person. Now, and like I said, there's also mirroring action going on underneath these cards. But it's going to leave quite a bit of a gap, or it's going to be very monumentous and heavy. Either way, it's just going to be intense all around. So you're gonna have to have time to breathe. But we have, you and your loved ones are safe. It is new moon in Cancer. I know this is a little tough to see just because it's kind of washing out, but this is a very positive card. This is saying that no matter which way it goes, you both will be safe. Or those who you care about, both you and the other person. Like it will end either way. When it ends, nobody's going to be in the harm. Nobody's going to be devastated. It's not a total annihilation, obliteration sort of thing. Can't believe I stuck those two words together. There's definitely going to be a lot of support and comfort and gentleness with whatever that you both choose. That's what this is saying. Okay, so we're going to be looking at cautions. What other flags should we be looking at? What other checks should we be looking for? We have the Sigil Keeper, symbols, signs, and messages. So this can go either way. Either you have, like, life will throw you signs and messages, but sometimes it might be a little tough to discern. So I would say always go with your first initial impression, but on the other hand, because intuition and whatnot, but on the other hand, don't feel bad and don't feel like you're obligated to not think about it. This is where free will comes in. I'm not saying you make your reality, and you're making it your own. Like, I reject your reality and substitute it with my own. No, that's not what this is saying. You are still free to contemplate what the messages are. Take some time to think about it for a few days, because you might even just come up with a different answer, or the signs and symbols could be compound messages, like part of an equation. So that is definitely being represented right over here. We also have the Yule Singer, rebirth, feasting, and joy. This is definitely not a caution card. This, and I'm glad that it's in the middle, because it's going to be supporting the two cards on both sides, and it is also a reinforcement of the new moon in Cancer right over here. So this is speaking to a lot of peace, faith, and tranquility. I mean, yeah, rebirth is not exactly, it's not going to be painless, of course, but it also can be a joyful event. I mean, it's like giving birth to a baby. As painful as it is a very joyful occasion, and hopefully, everybody is well and okay and takes care, but it's a lot of joy all around. It is going to be okay. So we have the Merciful One, compassion, release, relief. And I'm so glad this is here. This is, again, a good support card, and it is driving home that everything will be okay. This is not a card to be cautious about, and there's not a whole lot of caution here. Normally, I like to read the light and the dark side, as I did with the previous piles. But for this one in particular, there's nothing bad that I can say about this. So very good. We're going to be looking at now, what does Spirit have to say about this situationship? What does Spirit have to say? Okay. And this one. Okay, so we have chemistry. There is a strong magnetic attraction here. And then as I can throw back to the cards underneath that I'm not going to pull out again, we have the second chakra here on this side for this particular person. And we also have the root chakra here on this particular person. And of course the mirroring that's going on. We also have these up here as well as these cards over here. So in particular, this person right over here might need to hear about later on, but for you right now, you are lovable. Let me just scoot that right there. We also have make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you are guided to take. And again, you know, this is not going to run on the table, you know, just and then hash it out. Sorry, I'm just adjusting. But it takes a lot of effort, and it's going to take a lot of effort. And you know, they're not taking a whole lot of action that, you know, they can finally put their gear up for a while, and then you both will talk about it. Both of you will definitely and talk about this, whether you're both going to pursue it or not, or even to pursue some kind of relationship, but not in a romantic sense, because you can have platonic relationships as well. I mean, that's what friendships are, and then of course, you know, relationships with parents, relationships with coworkers, you know, that sort of thing. Every single relationship takes effort if you want to maintain it or have it grow. That's what that is saying. So we are going to be looking at, what does the universe say about this whole thing? Because there is a difference. There is a difference between what Spirit says and what the universe says. At least for me. I always view them as not really separate entities. They're just various steps along the way. We have the pillar. I mean, it's a beautiful card, but sometimes it is pretty tough to have it in the shot. That's a good one. So, I'm looking at this, again, mirroring, because they both look very similar. They are also supporting each other. It is also a gateway. For this one in particular, for your reading, these are two towers. So there's quite a bit of tower themes going on over here, and especially for you in particular, because this is going to be not so much the catastrophic event, but it will be a defining moment. We also have two snakes winding up the pillars, and you know, they're kind of kissing. I can't believe I sound like that. And we have two hearts on the pillars. So mirror action, not so much as the duality, it's just being on the same level, I want to say. Not the same plane of existence, just the same level, whether it's intelligence, whether it's just, you know, you can look at somebody and be like, things can also leave. It is always a constant open gateway, so just be cautious. Even though there's definitely a mirror going on, it's going to be a trip. We also have surrender. If I can just find the right angle. I think that's That's I mean, we have these other cards over here that says, it's not really the right time, and you know it. Even though you want those answers, you're also not ready for it. You're like, I don't think so. I want to know, but I really don't want to. So it's just saying to surrender, just to be open to the possibilities, open to the signs and symbols that is, like, under here. But also maybe meditate, listen to music, and just be open. But we also have over here, we have laurels over here. So whether it goes in any which direction, there will still be victory. There will still be victory. We also have ascension. There we go. We also have ascension. So it's kind of throwback to that hermit. And it's also throwback to the shadow or the devil for the both of you. You're both gonna ascend in various ways, maybe not on the same level, which is fine because both of you are your own individual person. Marrying going on, but maybe some equality. That doesn't mean we all grow the same way. Just like plants, they might be the same type, they might have the same sunlight, water, all that, but they will still grow differently. Somehow, some way, like one will have different leaves, one might flower early, uh, or one might unfortunately die. I've grown enough tomatoes to have that happen, but again, it doesn't mean that everybody grows the same way. Everybody has free will. So this is just saying that ascension is going to happen. And for this particular person with the cherry right over here, whether they like it or not, they're going to be hit with it pretty tough, even if they're not ready for it. For you in particular, again, it just says to, take care, to surrender, and then, find your own growth. You will find your own growth. What am I talking about? I don't have to tell you what to do. It's just going to happen. Okay, so that was actually extra long that I didn't think would happen. But thank you so much for joining me. I'm just going to leave this reading right over here. If you'd like to comment, all those things, I'm not really going to run through it because that's not really my thing. And if this is your first time, welcome. If it's not, I'm glad that you have stuck with me, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.